talking to him right now, so I know he wants to be part of the meeting.
Yeah. We'll get it started since it's 7 o'clock and we have a quorum. So I'll call this meeting to order. I'd like to welcome everybody. If you join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please, Ms. Anderson.
All righty. Brad Dubé.
Yes.
Chris Rabish. Paul Palmerville.
Present. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Nicole Jones.
Here.
Linda Anderson present. Tom Badifer. Are we here yet? Okay, Mark Kuchar.
Present. Thank you. Hopefully Tom will join us shortly here. Any additions, deletions, changes to the agenda? Seeing none, need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion. Support.
We have motion and support. Any discussion on the agenda? Well, let the record show Mr. Badifer has joined us.
Mm-hmm.
All those in favor of the agenda approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Community comments. Have anybody, Jay?
There are none.
Okay. If somebody comes on, we can get them after the student Spartan too. With that, I'll hand it over to student Spartan.
Thank you, Mr. Kuchar. Yes, we have our middle school and high school student Spartans of the month. For the middle school, we have Mr. Will Zielinski. Will was nominated by Miss Gilman. Miss Gilman said, "Will is so nice. He always thanks his teachers for teaching him as he walks out the door of the classroom. He is an excellent student with a great attitude." So our middle school student of the month, Mr. Will Zielinski.
Great. Nice job, Will.
And our high school student of the month is Mr. Zachary Johnson. Zachary was nominated by Miss Papke. Miss Papke says that he is the most polite and intelligent student. I was struggling to bring my stuff in the school and he volunteered to help. He is always pleasant to be around and a joy to have in class. Our high school student of the month, Mr. Zachary Johnson.
Great. Nice job for Zachary too. Wishing them good luck tonight. Are they playing at Harrison, I assume? The game didn't get canceled?
They're playing.
Yeah, game is on.
Good. Good student athlete there. On to Jay again. We don't have any community comments.
No, we do not.
All right. On to the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve. Oh, your microphone's off, Mr. Baker.
I think he was making a motion to approve the consent agenda, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Tom?
Tom's still muted.
How's that?
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda and pay the bills $508,909.70.
Support.
Support.
All right. Thank you. We got Mr. Doobie for support for that. We have motion support. Any discussion on those agenda items? Seeing none, I need a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Tom Badifer.
Yes.
Brad Dubé.
Yes.
Chris Rabish.
Yes.
Paul Palmerville.
Yes.
Nicole Jones.
Yes.
Linda Anderson, yes. Mark Kuchar.
Yes.
Got him.
Thank you. Motion passes. I would like to highlight Mr. Hopkins, Dennis. He's been a custodial person in the district a long time, and I've heard many stories from my wife and nothing but good things, and how he supports the staff and how great he is to the kids. So Going to be sad to see him go, but obviously wish him the best. So thank you, Mr. Hopkins. With that, Mr. View, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Kuchar. I would echo that on Mr. Hopkins. Dennis and I have worked together for as long as I can remember. He's been in the district over 30 years. Worked together with him at the high school. He's been at Central. I mean, when Dennis cleans a building, it's like cleaning his home. I mean, he takes a lot of ownership in that and pride, and he's the first one to really seek out people if he doesn't think, he's got the right supplies and stuff. He really puts a lot into it. So we're going to miss Dennis, and hopefully he enjoys retirement and lucky him, I guess. So good luck to Dennis. Just to start out,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, I just said someday it'll be us too, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, I'll tell you, it's wonderful. It's the hardest job I've ever had.
Don't tempt me. So anyway, sounds good. Return to learn plan. I just every board meeting we kind of need to update as to how we're doing. Is this the right version of schooling, such as face-to-face, remote? I will tell you right now, we've made a pretty decent run as far as face-to-face. We have actually seen a decrease in the number of COVID cases, and we've seen a decrease in the number of students and staff who have had to isolate and or quarantine. So, knock on wood, but that could change. But I think overall, our return to learn plan has probably enabled us to be in face-to-face instruction more than most in the county, and maybe most in the Reed area. And I think that's what parents really want to see, is us being face-to-face as well as the staff and myself. It hasn't been easy, but I think we continue forward with what we have in place. And I think we continue on with our face-to-face, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about remote days here in a second. But anybody have, board members, any feedback on how things are going as far as our in-person instruction?
Yeah, I think we should let the skiers out.
Nothing?
I know the students, or at least the ones that I've come in contact with, like being back in the classroom as opposed to what they had to do in November and December. So,
Okay, great. We did get quite a few back too from the remote when we came back in January. We did see an increase in students that wanted to return instead of the Edge platform. So we've worked those students into the schedule as well, and so far so good.
Mike, do we know on your paper here, it says week 2, both like high school, middle school, like the 100% remote, why the numbers were so low? Was there something with them being able to get on, or
Is that
49%, and then for the middle school, I think that's what that is, and 51.8 for the high school, 912.
yeah? Christine, Sharina, are you familiar with that number there?
Which one are you looking at?
is that
I was looking at like in January, the week 2 for both middle school and high school, the 100% remote was 49. I think it's 49% and 51.8%. Is that the participation by the students that are remote?
Correct.
If it is, do you know why it was so low during that one? Was there something like maybe Jay would know with the internet, or?
Either students didn't log on during those time. I know that was a transition period too. That's when the semester changed.
Okay.
So classes were ending and classes beginning.
Okay.
So some may have finished their classes.
Okay.
So they weren't necessarily a contact point.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where that transition could have possibly occurred. I'd have to go back and look specifically at the mentor logs to get further detail.
That makes sense, though. That it would be.
was that the week you had a parent teacher, or I'm sorry, PD also? Was that a Martin Luther King Day week, January 18th? Is that the week we're looking at?
Well, our weeks go from Wednesday to Tuesday.
Okay.
So that was the 18th was the day off, and then the 19th, and then the week before that was
Here, Baxter.
exams.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a fluctuation, kids out and
There
whether
was
or
one
not
less. Yeah.
making contact in their classes, etc.
And we did offer an extension.
I'd have to pull the Mentor specifically to go back and get further details.
I guess it was the end of the
I'm
semester.
guessing
So
it was
there a
that
lot of kids
transition
transitioning back to the school too,
semester.
like Mike was saying.
Yeah, go ahead,
There-
Rob.
There would have been 2 half days in that period, and also a full day off with Martin Luther King Day, the PD day. So that would have limited the amount of interactions also.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Well, I was just going to chime in real quickly because we did offer an extension to students that were struggling in those classes. So a kid might have had 12 classes at one time because we allowed them to try to finish their other courses and get caught up for that extra week. So that might have been a factor as well.
Okay, now stop.
All right. Okay, remote days. We had discussed still having some remote days throughout the second semester, just so teachers could still be ready to go flip the instruction. We kind of have 2 in March. I just want to explain. We were going to do one late in February and one in mid-March. But in working with the teachers and the other staff, we're getting our second dose of the vaccine. Most of the people are getting it on Sunday, Saturday, the 27th, I believe.
Yeah.
And so we figured we'd go with a Monday, that Monday as a remote day, just in case, because you notice on the TV nowadays, you're seeing schools are actually closing or going remote because of the high number of subs that they need because of the second shot. So we went with that March 1st date and the 20th. And those dates are going to be remote. And I think what I had mentioned, maybe doing them one a month, but the reason I bumped 2 in March was because of the second vaccine. Any questions about that?
No, I just know 2 schools in the Saginaw area didn't have school today because of it. Of the second vaccine, they didn't have enough teachers. They couldn't run.
But you scheduled our teacher's vaccine for a Saturday, right?
I did. I
So
did.
that should be, because they have Sunday then. Usually I heard the second day is where people are bad and they have the symptoms. So hopefully by Monday they should be okay, I would hope. It would probably, I mean, if people are still feeling bad, then I wouldn't think it would be as many that would have to get subs as it would if, it was after.
So, yeah, I was fine. The first date mine was the second day. So in this scenario, if it would have been me, I wouldn't have come in on Monday.
So we have a little bit of buffer there, and hopefully we can make sure that we'll be able to teach remotely on those 2 days.
Yeah.
Huh?
So that's a good idea, though. I mean, because then it gives them one extra day if they need that third day after the vaccine to, still kind of take it easy. They'll be at home and they can rest at home instead of being in school.
Right. And plus you got, that's all our staff. That's our custodians, bus driver.
Right.
So yeah, that's the plan. I'll consult with the board before we do any more remote days, but at this point we have 2 scheduled, and I'll confer with the board if we're going to do any more. Okay. Facilities. We had a site committee meeting tonight. We have some projects that we need to look at for this coming spring and summer. Some of them are immediate, but for the most part, we've talked, and there's some. I'll just go through a list of some of the items, but the site committee chair can go over these in more detail. Are we going to do that committee report tonight or next week?
I can do it tonight, Mike. I got it wrote down what I wanted to bring to the table.
Okay. So I won't be redundant. I'll just say the site committee met. We talked about several projects that A, either are planned or B, need to be done right away because of emergency things like a heat exchanger at Linwood. But site committee is going to meet again and once I get some numbers and get some more information on some of these projects. And but definitely going to be a busy spring and summer for some of these projects. And most of them the board has heard about. We've had them in the hopper. Some of them are, like I said, are pressing and some are new. So Paul will go into more detail on that. Staff vaccinations. All staff members who wanted a vaccination has received at least their first dose. Just got a number. We had 76 employees who took their first dose, and that was through Bay County Health Department and the Great Lakes Bay Health Systems. And I'd like to thank them for helping out. And I did talk to Joel from the Health Department last Wednesday. He said if you have some staff that still want to get a vaccine, that I need to reach out to him and he'll direct us to some clinics in the near future, where they're doing clinics. So if somebody was undecided but now wants the vaccine, they're still going to allow us to let those people get the vaccine. So again, they've been pretty good to work with. So,
Hey, Mike, how many staff do we have that did not get it or chose not to?
I would say, I'm going to guess that if 76 staff members, we're about 50%, maybe, Chris. Maybe you can help me. We've got close to 100 and
about 152. We're at about 50%.
Okay. Wow, I thought it would have been a little more.
Yeah. Again, you can't force people to do it. It's a wait, but definitely, it's something that I think we need to consider, and we'll change their mind, and then we'll give them the opportunity. Any other questions about anything? All right, thanks. All set.
All right, thank you, Mr. View. Administrative staff.
Yeah, I'll go first if that's okay.
Yep.
Just want to start off by echoing what Mr. View said about our numbers and how those are going down. We're not just fighting COVID, we're fighting the flu, we're fighting the common cold and those things. And the fact that kids are not out of school, staff's not out of school is really a testament to our custodial staff and our teaching staff for following the proper procedures and doing what they need to do to make sure that everybody's staying healthy. So I wanted to give a shout out to those individuals because it's not easy to do. It's cumbersome, but we do have a good staff that's really taken the initiative with that. So thankful for that. Another thing, we have a virtual student, and Alexandria Rodriguez, who in just a couple weeks of her virtual classes, she's already completed 2. She is going to Hong Kong Baptist University. Mr. Floyd is her mentor, and she's been extremely motivated. And virtual has been a good success story for her. So, and that goes to the hard work of all of our administrative staff and the people that have helped implement this virtual program, because it wasn't easy to do out of the gate. There's a lot of chinks in the armor, we could say, as we were going through, but I feel like it's been a good avenue for a lot of students, and we've had, like I said, had some difficulties, but there has been some successes, and that's a testament to the hard work of our administrative staff and the mentors that have been doing what they need to do with these students. So I wanted to give that a moment of recognition.
Thank you. Other administrative staff?
Yep. Along that same vein, I would like to congratulate Coach Brad Wayner on his first victory for our girls varsity program on Saturday. It's been a tough go for him, having 7 freshmen to start on an 11-person squad. Not always the easiest to compete against varsity basketball teams, being so young, but he's really done a nice job making this a fun experience for these kids, and they're working hard every day in practice, and he's very proud. And also, I'd like to congratulate Casey Pashik. We are currently 5-0 with our boys varsity basketball program, and we sit atop the Jack Pine Conference. So congratulations. I really appreciate what they've done because there were a lot of times where it could have gone either way in terms of practicing and delays and weeks of uncertainty. And Casey has kept this group close, and they work hard, and it's just a real joy to watch. So congratulations to Casey.
Yeah, excellent. I got to watch them last Friday, and my son's on the JV team, so I was lucky enough to have tickets, but they're fun to watch.
They are.
They're really good.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank you.
I'd like to go next.
Yeah, go ahead, Christine.
Yep, I have a few updates. So today, John, Mr. Sanford, and I sat down. We got our VLP testing for the Unstep ready. Still hoping the state decides that a waiver is the best option, but we're still chugging along, preparing for that. So we have a plan in place to bring our VLP kids in for our Unstep testing, grades 3, 4, and 5. That's all set up. Got letters ready to go. Next Tuesday at Linwood, we are having our second parent engagement activity. It's going to be a take it, make it activity. Kids are, families, we're going to provide a dinner for them to take and make. We're going to have reading activities for them to do, take and make activities to do at home. And we also had some books donated through Jennifer Gord, our literacy support. She from the ISD, our coach, she got some books, so every kid will have a book as well. And then March 4th is our kindergarten roundup. That's district wide, and we've been getting phone calls regularly for those. And I would like to put out a thank you to Carol and Jim and Russ and Bob and Scott. Linwood, we've had quite a few hiccups with our boiler this last week. It's been very interesting, but they've really been very helpful in getting rooms rearranged and water picked up and all that, getting that boiler taken care of. So we're able to keep school going. So I want to give a shout out to our maintenance crew and our custodial staff for coming around and helping. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Site committee, I believe. Mr. Palmaville.
Yeah, well, we met tonight, and unfortunately, folks, we have more needs than wants. Mike brought to our attention that Dan LePan's going to meet with him at Central L. The gymnasium wall, at some point somebody hit it. It needs to be fixed before we have a collapse. So he's going to get some numbers together on what it's going to be to fix the wall. The chimney at Central needs to come down. When we put the roof on, we knew it had to come down at some point. And again, before something happens, we're going to have to take that down. There's some steam pipes that need to be replaced when we put the heat exchangers in. So again, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they have to be replaced so we can keep on going. While Dan LePan's there, the tile at Linwood L he's going to look at abatement and replacement on what it's going to be to replace the flooring at Linwood. The stadium bleachers, that's more of a want than it is right now a need. But we talked at the committee meeting, and Mike's going to have that rebid because of the price of steel right now. We have money for it in grants, but we're going to have that rebid. So we're looking at actual numbers right now because I know the price of steel has skyrocketed. So we're going to have to rebid that. And the PA system at Linwood needs to be replaced. The Band-Aids are about done. They can't Band-Aid it anymore. And then Mike spoke of the heat exchanger, $24,000. That has to be that is a have to. That's a have to replace or shut the school down. So that's some of the things that we need. The annex in the heat where robotics and ball is. The heaters out there, they're not working. They're there. Mike's going to have them come out, see what it's going to cost to get them up and running correctly. Hopefully that's going to be a easy fix, but before we have bigger problems than we need to get that heat back on out there. And then Mike talked about a walk-in freezer for Central L. That'll be paid for through the food service. And they're also getting pricing on the lockout security door stops for the classrooms throughout the district. We're looking at about $56,000 for that. And, and again, some of these are needs, some are wants. And when the time comes, we're going to have to put it, we're just going to have to sit down and look at it. The soccer field behind Central L, we've talked about now for 2 years. Again, we got grant money for it. So there's a company coming in, going to give Mike some bids on it. We're really going to have to use some of this grant money to either we're going to use it or lose it. So at some point, probably by the next meeting, we're going to have some stuff in front of us that we're going to have to seriously look at and prioritize how we want to handle it and go forward with it. And that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bonneville. Anybody have any questions?
If I could follow up, Paul did a good job of explaining all the different projects. We are going to try to seek out a grant for the door security systems. And the Chippewa tribe normally have been pretty generous when it comes to things like school safety and whatnot. So Chris is in the process of putting together an application for that project.
All right. Thank you. To the non-consent agenda, you call reconfirmation.
I make a motion that we approve the reconfirmation of the ECOL program.
Support.
We have a motion to support. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, need a roll call vote on that, please.
Okay, Tom Badifer,
Yes.
Chris Rabish,
Yes.
Brad Dubé,
Yes.
Paul Palmaville,
Yes.
Nicole Jones,
Yes.
Linda Anderson, yes. Mark Kuchar.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Any public comment on that reconfirmation? Or public comment coming up next, Jay?
Nope. I was
Mark,
just checking all the places. So there's nothing on the YouTube stream and nothing in the forum.
Okay, thanks. Dwayne, go ahead.
Yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't mention too, Saturday was a great day all around for Pinconning sports. Our bowling team defeated Harrison on Saturday, and also on Saturday, our wrestling team won for the first time in Pinconning history. We had 2 wrestlers earn their 100th victory on the same day. So congratulations to Art Dennison and to Jacob Brooks. Just a great weekend to be a Spartan.
Excellent.
Pinconning Spartan.
Yeah. Clarify. We don't want to get confused with that big school down in Lansing there. I know that's a common mistake. All right. Seeing no other public comments, discussion items from the board.
I do. We talked a lot about sports and things like that. And I have had a lot of parents that were inquiring about, since each parent has like 2 tickets available. And the issue is like, we wanted to keep it like 25% capacity, but a lot of parents that I've heard said, well, if other parents aren't using, like some parents aren't using their tickets, could we buy them? Or if, maybe, put them up for sale so the public or anybody who wants to go to the games, and it can only benefit us because it's just more money that we're going to make by selling those tickets instead of just sitting there. Like maybe we could put them on the Facebook web page that, hey, call the athletic office if you're interested in buying these available tickets. It's first come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
Dwayne, you have a comment on that, I assume?
Yeah, we discussed it as a conference, and we decided to open this up in the winter season to allowing extra tickets to non-nuclear families, which I'm really happy about. I think in the fall, it made for some tough conversations for kids. Who do I give my 2 tickets that I've been allotted to? It was kind of dicey with non-nuclear families. So as a conference, we decided to open it up and give each set of parents 2 tickets this winter. What we are finding is that really in keeping with the spirit of why we were doing that, it wasn't necessarily to increase crowd size. It was to make it equitable to families. So while we haven't gotten involved in the day-to-day, hey, I'm Jimmy's dad and I can't make the game tonight, I'm going to offer it to Jimmy's friends' parents. We haven't really gotten involved too much with that. But I do think that there are people that are trying to circumvent the rules a little bit. I know conference-wide, there are some schools that have been very outspoken with that and saying, we're not going to do that. It's for that family only. We've taken more of a kind of a step back approach to that. I guess I'm flexible. I'm willing to do whatever you guys see fit, but it's making for some hard feelings for sure.
I know those tickets that the parents purchased, they're good for the season, and they were $65 for each ticket. So it's not the parents were just given to them, and they're not $5 per ticket. They're just 2 tickets that were $65 that are good in Pinconning, good at Harrison, good at Shepherd. You just have to keep those all the time. They're laminated. So, I know we have family members that ask, and for the most part, it's my wife and I go into all of them. And I don't know if I'd want to have to call the coaches or, kind of micromanage that because there's so few tickets. I think it's a decent idea, but I don't know about the logistics of it. But Dwayne, I guess you can continue talking with the Jack Pine Conference, and I don't know how many more weeks we have left. Probably 4 weeks left of this season, and whether we can implement it or do something this time, or if it comes in for spring, something different. But, I mean, like the basketball team right now, I'd love it for our community to be able to go to see those guys play. It's nice to have them doing so well right now. But the overall theme is trying to limit the amount of households within a confined space. So it's all about the safety, but I'd like to get tickets out there too, and 25% capacity, something like that. So something to keep in mind and keep working on, Dwayne, if you can. I'd like the community to be able to get to do something, but we have to be safe too. Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, Dwayne.
Yep.
Any other discussion items? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Linda, this is Chris. Can you stay on for a second?